The galaxy had seen wars before, but nothing like this. On a quiet morning, across thousands of star systems, an alarm began to echo through every communication channel. It was a deep, shaking sound that made even the bravest soldiers stop and look at the sky. The message was simple and terrifying. Unknown enemy detected. Outer systems falling. In the peaceful city of Solaris Prime, people ran out into the open streets and stared upward. The sky was calm, but reports said that entire planets had already been destroyed. Not conquered, destroyed completely. No one understood how. The enemy left no messages, no warnings. They appeared, swallowed everything in their path, and moved forward like a dark wave. All over the galaxy, panic grew like fire. Alien species with hundreds of years of history began to flee. Massive evacuation ships left orbit, carrying millions of civilians. Trade routes turned into desperate escape routes. Planets that once glowed with lights became silent and empty. But in one small corner of the galaxy, on a blue planet called Earth, the reaction was different. The humans did not run. Inside the United Earth Defense Command, alarms flashed red. Officers rushed through hallways. Pilots sprinted toward launch bays. The humans were scared, but they did not show fear. They were busy preparing for something they knew would come soon. At the center of the command room stood Commander Aaron Hayes, a tall man with sharp eyes that missed nothing. He was known for his calm mind and strong heart. For many years, he had warned the galaxy that a threat like this could appear someday. No one listened to him then, but now his words echoed everywhere. He looked at the hologram in front of him. It showed 3 planets blinking red, lost. A 4th planet was turning black as the enemy ships closed around it. A young officer approached him with trembling hands. "Sir, alien governments are requesting evacuation routes. They say we should leave the system before the enemy arrives." Aaron did not look away from the hologram. "And what does Earth say?" The officer swallowed. "Earth says we stay." Aaron nodded. "Good. Then prepare all fleets." As the officer ran off, Aaron spoke softly to himself. "If we run today, there will be no tomorrow." Outside the command building, the space around Earth became active. Hundreds of ships launched into orbit, fighters, cruisers, carriers. They formed a glowing shield around the planet. Engineers worked nonstop, powering heavy cannons and scanning for enemy movement. The humans were ready for a fight that most believed they could not win. Meanwhile, alien watchers observed from far away. They could not understand why humans refused to leave. On the moon base, an alien diplomat named Sarek sent a message to Earth. He was from the gentle Lemurian species, known for avoiding conflict. His voice trembled with fear. "Commander Aaron, please listen. The invaders destroyed our home world in minutes. They are not an enemy you can stop. You must escape before Earth becomes their next target." Aaron's reply was calm, but firm. "Sarek, listen carefully. If everyone runs, who will stand in their way? If no one fights, the galaxy will fall. Someone has to draw the line. Let be us." Sarek stared at him with disbelief. "Humans, you are either the bravest species or the most foolish." Aaron almost smiled. "Maybe both." Hours passed. Then the darkness came. The first enemy signal reached Earth. An energy wave that cracked through space and shook satellites. No one could identify the material of the enemy ships. They looked like shadows made solid, with surfaces that shimmered like living skin. They moved silently, without communication, without lights, without hesitation. All across the human command rooms, tension grew thicker. "Enemy ships entering Zone A," an officer announced. "Zone B," another voice said seconds later. "Zone C, Commander, they are surrounding the system." Earth was now completely trapped. Aaron stood in the center of the room. His hands were tight behind his back, but his face was steady. He looked at the officers around him, young men and women, some barely out of training. Their eyes were full of fear, but also full of determination. He raised his voice, letting it fill the room. "Listen to me. The galaxy is watching us. They think we will run like everyone else. But they forgot one thing." He stepped forward, staring at the map of Earth glowing in the center of the room. We do not run. We protect our home. We protect our people. And today, we protect the stars. Silence filled the room. Then a wave of strength spread through the officers. Humanity will fight, Aaron said. Prepare all ships. This ends here. And across the galaxy, where thousands of species were hiding in fear, one message began to spread. Earth is not running. And for the first time since the invasion began, hope flickered. The dark shapes moved closer to Earth, slowly but confidently, like predators approaching a cornered animal. Their ships did not shine. They did not communicate. They did not make mistakes. They only advanced, each movement silent and perfect, as if guided by one mind. Commander Aaron Hayes watched the enemy fleet appear on the hologram. The ships looked like floating shadows, bending light around them. No scientist could explain their material. They were not metal. They were not stone. They were something entirely unknown. Are they scanning us? An officer asked. No, another replied. They are ignoring all signals. They do not want to talk. Aaron felt a cold pressure in his chest. The enemy was not here to negotiate. They were here to erase. Activate the defense grid, he ordered. No ship fires until I give the signal. Across Earth's orbit, human ships tightened their formation. Thousands of pilots gripped their controls, trying to stay calm. Down below on Earth, millions of people watched the sky. Some prayed, some cried, some stood silently with their families. No one knew if this would be Earth's final day. Suddenly, the room shook. A blast of black energy hit Earth's outer defense satellites. The attack moved like a wave, passing through metal as if it were air. Dozens of satellites shut down instantly, falling into Earth's atmosphere like falling stars. Commander, we are losing the front line. Aaron kept his voice steady. Hold the formation. They are testing us. They want to see how fast we break. But humans did not break that easily. The enemy ships released swarms of drones, small, needle-shaped machines that glowed with a faint red pulse. They swirled through space like a cloud of angry insects, heading straight toward the human fleet. Drones approaching all sectors. Prepare counterfire, Aaron commanded. But before any human ship could fire, the drones did something unexpected. They connected together, forming a massive spinning sphere. Energy crackled around it. What are they doing? An officer whispered. The sphere aimed directly at Earth's largest battleship, the solar spear. Incoming energy spike, someone shouted. Aaron slammed his hand onto the console. Solar spear move. Now. But it was too late. A beam of red energy burst from the drone sphere, hitting the battleship's shields. The shields shattered instantly. The ship trembled violently as alarms echoed inside its halls. For a moment, the solar spear disappeared behind a storm of red light. Everyone in the command room held their breath. Then the light cleared. The ship was still there, but barely. Metal plates glowed hot. The engines flickered. Smoke escaped from the hull. It had survived, but only just. Aaron felt his heartbeat rise. If that beam had been aimed at Earth itself, the planet would have been torn apart. We cannot wait anymore, Aaron said. His voice turned sharp and commanding. All fleets, prepare to engage. The room jumped into action. Pilots armed their weapons. Cruisers activated long-range cannons. Earth's orbital stations focused their laser arrays. But even with all this power, Aaron knew the truth. Humanity was fighting a force far stronger than anything they had faced before. And the enemy was not fighting at full power yet. Commander, said Sarek, the alien diplomat watching from the side, your people are brave, but bravery alone cannot win this battle. Aaron turned to him. Good, because we have more than bravery. He tapped a hidden control on his wrist. Deep under Earth's surface, a chamber lit up. Scientists and engineers stood around a massive, glowing device. It pulsed like a small sun. Project Sunlance, Aaron said. Activate the charge. Sarek's eyes widened. You would use that? It is unstable. Even humans fear that weapon. Aaron looked back at the enemy fleet closing in. Fear is not our enemy, he said quietly. Time is. The charge sequence began. The chamber rumbled. Energy built. The ground trembled, and as the invaders moved closer, ready to crush Earth's defenses once and for all, humanity prepared to unleash the most dangerous weapon ever created. The real fight was about to begin. Deep under Earth's surface, in a secret bunker that only a few humans had ever seen, the air vibrated with raw energy. The giant machine, known as Project Sunlance, began to awaken. Its core glowed like the heart of a newborn star, unstable, dangerous, but powerful enough to tear apart an entire fleet. Above ground, Commander Aaron Hayes watched a live feed of the reactor room. Engineers wearing protective suits ran between control panels, shouting updates. Core temperature rising. Containment field holding barely. Energy output climbing beyond safe levels. Aaron closed his eyes for a moment. If this weapon failed, it would destroy half the planet. But if they didn't use it, the invaders would destroy everything anyway. "Keep charging," he said. The Earth shook again as the enemy fleet fired another invisible wave. More satellites flickered offline. A human cruiser exploded on the edge of the formation, scattering broken metal into space. "Commander, we're losing ships." Aaron responded without hesitation. "Tell them to hold the line. Buy Sunlance more time." Far above the planet, the invaders continued to advance. The shadow ships moved with chilling precision, forming a half-circle around Earth like a trap slowly closing. Their drones rebuilt the destroyed energy sphere, preparing for another attack. Inside the moon base, Sarek, the alien diplomat, watched with horror. "You cannot win, Commander. They will overrun your defenses before Sunlance is ready." Aaron didn't look away from the hologram. "Then we slow them down." He switched channels. "Hunter Squadron, you're up. Hit their front line." A group of 20 human fighters shot forward, engines burning bright blue. They weaved through drone clouds and fired missiles at the nearest shadow ship. The ship absorbed the attack like a sponge absorbing water, then released a shockwave that sent the fighter spinning. 2 ships exploded instantly, but the rest, brave and stubborn, kept going. Every second they bought mattered. Back in the bunker, the Sunlance core screamed with energy. The engineers' voices shook as they gave updates. "Charge at 30%, 35%, rising too fast. Containment field is failing at the edges." "Reinforce it," one of them shouted back. The entire chamber shook. Sparks rained from the ceiling. And then, a warning alarm blared. "Core overload in 90 seconds, a technician yelled. If the overload hit 100%, the Sunlance would explode under Earth itself. Aaron received the alert. His jaw tightened. "Stabilize it." "We're trying, sir, but—" "Try harder," he snapped. His voice was harsh, but his eyes showed the truth. He hated risking his people, but he had no choice. In orbit, things grew worse. The enemy finally gathered enough energy for a full strike. The giant drone sphere pulsed red, brighter than before. It pointed at Earth. "Commander, they're targeting the planet directly." Aaron's heart froze. If the attack hit, millions would die instantly. He hit the main channel. "All ships, fire everything you have at that sphere." Human ships unleashed a storm of plasma, missiles, and laser fire. Explosions lit up space like fireworks. The drone sphere cracked, shook, then stabilized again. It was too strong. Sarek whispered, "This is the end." But Aaron didn't give up. He never had. He hit the command line to the bunker. "Sunlance team, I need a miracle." The chief engineer wiped sweat from his forehead. "We can redirect the overload into the firing sequence, but it will either save Earth or blow us up." "Do it, Commander. Do it," Aaron roared. The engineer nodded and slammed the control panel. The Sunlance core screamed as energy surged through it. The chamber lights turned blinding white. The ground vibrated as if the planet itself were waking up. "Charge at 90%, 95%, 98%, ready to fire." In orbit, the drone sphere fired its red beam. On Earth, the Sunlance answered. A blinding spear of starfire shot upward, tearing through the atmosphere and ripping into space. It was brighter than the sun, faster than lightning, and filled with every drop of human courage. The 2 beams collided. The galaxy held its breath, and the real war began. The sky above Earth transformed into a storm of fire and shadows. The sun-lance beam, bright like a newborn star, clashed with the invaders' red energy, and the shockwave ripped across space like thunder. Every ship trembled. Every pilot held their breath. Every human hoped. For a moment, it looked like the sun-lance would fail. The enemy's red beam pushed forward, bending the starfire backward toward Earth. Sparks of energy rained across the battlefield. "Commander, the sun-lance is losing power," an officer cried. "Hold it," Aaron shouted. "If we break now, Earth is finished." Human ships moved into the beam's path, forming a defensive line. They took hits meant for the planet. Some were destroyed instantly. Others burned as their crews refused to retreat. Still they held. Then something incredible happened. The sun-lance beam suddenly expanded, becoming wider and hotter, as if responding to the bravery around it. It cut through the red beam, shattering it like glass. The shockwave pushed the enemy back. For the first time, the invaders hesitated. In the moon base, Sarek stared at the monitors. They stepped back. They have never done that before. Aaron studied the enemy ships. Good. That means they can feel pressure and fear. But the victory lasted only seconds. The shadow ships suddenly shifted, moving with unnatural speed. They created new formations, tighter, more dangerous. Their drones swarmed forward, forming dark clouds that wrapped around the human fleet like a cage. Alarms echoed everywhere. "They're surrounding us. We're losing the left wing. Commander, they're trying to cut the fleet in half." Aaron reacted instantly. "All ships on the right flank. Push forward. Break their cage before it closes." Human ships surged forward, blasting through the drone clouds. Explosions filled space. Pilots shouted in fear and determination. But the enemy adapted too quickly. 3 massive shadow ships moved toward Earth's main defense line. Their hulls changed shape, growing long spikes glowing with red heat. A scientist gasped, "Commander, those are planet-killer weapons. If the spikes hit Earth, they would pierce the mantle and ignite the core." Aaron felt a freezing weight in his stomach. "Focus all fire on those 3 ships." The battle became chaos. Laser fire crossed in every direction. Missiles chased the drone. Human fighters weaved through enemy formations, trying to pull them away from Earth. Inside the solar spear, Captain Lyra took command despite her damaged ship. "We're not done yet," she told her crew. "Charge the rail cannons. We hit those spikes before they hit Earth." Her ship fired again and again. The cannons glowed red-hot. Metal plates fell from the hull. The solar spear was dying, but it refused to fall. Aaron watched with pride. That ship is holding the line alone. Support them. 2 cruisers moved beside the solar spear, taking hits for it, firing alongside it. Their combined power broke one of the spikes off a shadow ship, but the other 2 still advanced, and the sun-lance was still cooling, unable to fire again yet. The enemy spikes grew brighter, seconds from release. Sarek whispered, "This is the end of your world." Aaron leaned forward, eyes burning with fire. "No, humanity doesn't die easy." He activated a secret channel. "Strike Team Echo, proceed." A group of 7 stealth ships uncloaked behind Earth. They did not head toward the front lines. They moved toward the center of the enemy formation, toward the giant mothership. "Commander, are you insane?" Sarek shouted. "No ship can enter that monster." Aaron replied coldly, "They don't have to win. They just have to get inside." The stealth ships vanished into the enemy's shadow. The enemy spikes prepared to fire. Earth's defenses were seconds from breaking. Sarek closed his eyes in despair. But Aaron whispered to himself, "This battle isn't over." Not yet. Then the entire battlefield lit up. The stealth team had reached the heart of the enemy, and everything was about to change. The battlefield was shaking under the weight of 2 impossible forces. The invaders preparing to fire their planet-killer spikes, and the human stealth team slipping into the mouth of the giant enemy mothership. Commander Aaron Hayes watched their tiny signals on the hologram. They were like fireflies entering a volcano. Strike Team Echo has entered the enemy vessel, an officer reported. Good, Aaron said. Now we make sure their sacrifice means something. But the enemy was not waiting. The three shadow ships aimed their glowing spikes at Earth. The red light pulsed faster and faster, each pulse stronger than the last. It felt like time was running out. Inside the mothership, the humans moved through dark corridors made of living material. The walls pulsed like veins filled with black liquid. Strange whispers echoed through the air, as if the ship itself was alive and aware of them. Lieutenant Rhea, leader of Strike Team Echo, whispered to her squad, "Stay close. Don't touch anything. And remember, our goal is the core." Behind them, the entrance sealed shut. There was no going back. Back in orbit, Aaron made a desperate move. "Solar Spear, this is command," he said. "I need your rail cannons one more time." Captain Lyra laughed softly through the static. "Commander, this ship is held together with tape and prayer. You can still shoot," Aaron said. "And right now, that's enough." The battered solar spear turned its burning hull toward the nearest spike ship. Its engines roared. The rail cannon charged, glowing bright blue. Firing in 3, 2, 1. The shot tore through space, hitting the spike dead center. The enemy ship staggered, metal crawling like liquid to repair itself. But for a moment, it stopped charging. "Direct hit," an officer shouted. Aaron didn't celebrate. "We need more time." Echo Team, report. Inside the mothership, Echo Team reached a chamber so large it felt endless. At the center was the core, an enormous sphere of shifting black energy. It pulsed like a heartbeat, each pulse shaking the entire ship. Rhea stared at it. "That thing powers the entire fleet." "And the weapons," another soldier said. "If we destroy it, we end their attack," Rhea finished. But the core was guarded. Drones crawled down from the ceiling like spiders, their eyes glowing red. Echo Team opened fire. The dark metal shattered under human bullets, but more drones kept coming. Rhea shouted, "Plant the charges. Cover each other." Each soldier attached explosive devices to the pillars around the core. Sparks flew as drones attacked from every angle. One soldier was grabbed by a drone and thrown across the room. Another took a hit to the chest, but kept firing. Rhea activated her comm. "Commander, charges set. 2 minutes until detonation." Aaron felt the smallest spark of hope. "Get out of there." "We'll try," Rhea said. "But the ship is sealing the exits." At that moment, the enemy spikes reached full charge. The shadow ships aligned perfectly, aiming to strike Earth's surface. Lights across the battlefield turned red. Alarm screamed, "Commander, impact in 10 seconds." Aaron whispered, "Echo Team, please make it." Inside the mothership, Rhea saw the core turning blood red. "It's going to fire," she yelled. "Move." Her team sprinted toward the nearest open corridor. The walls moved like they were alive, trying to trap them. One soldier shoved another ahead before the wall closed, sacrificing himself. Outside, the spikes glowed bright like dying suns. The battlefield fell silent. Then, a thunderous explosion shook the mothership. Light burst from every crack in its hull. The entire structure collapsed inward. The core had detonated. The spike ships froze, then cracked apart like broken glass. Their weapons failed instantly. Earth was safe for the moment. Sarek stared in shock. They'd destroyed the mothership? Humans did that. Aaron finally allowed himself a breath. No, heroes did that. The invaders retreated, their formation broken, their command ship destroyed. But Aaron knew the truth. This was not the end. This was only the first victory. And the enemy would come back. Stronger, angrier, and even more deadly. The explosion of the enemy mothership spread across space like a dying star. For a moment, the battlefield fell silent. Human ships stopped firing. Even the invaders paused, confused by the sudden loss of their command vessel. Commander Aaron Hayes watched the mothership collapse. His chest felt heavy. Echo Team, report. Anyone? Static. Then a faint voice. "Commander, this is Lieutenant Rhea." Aaron leaned forward. "Rhea, Are you alive? We got out, she said weakly. Not everyone, but some of us made it to an escape pod. We're drifting near the battlefield. Relief washed over the command room. Rescue ships, launch immediately, Aaron ordered. But something was wrong. The battlefield sensors began to blink. Strange readings appeared. Energy spikes rising rapidly around the debris of the destroyed mothership. Commander, an officer whispered, "The enemy, they're not retreating. They're regrouping." Indeed, the remaining shadow ships pulled back into a single massive formation. Their black hulls twisted and merged, as if they were combining into one monstrous shape. Sarek's eyes widened. This is impossible. That mothership you destroyed, it wasn't their core command. Aaron turned sharply. What do you mean? Sarek swallowed. I have heard legends, very old ones. The invaders have no mothership. They have no leader. They are controlled by a single mind, a single creature, hidden somewhere among the stars. Aaron's heart tightened. Then what was the ship we hit? A guardian, Sarek whispered. A shield, not the sword. Aaron stepped back. If that was the shield, what is the sword? The answer came seconds later. The enemy formation finished merging. And from the combined mass of ships, a new vessel emerged, 10 times larger than the previous mothership. Its shape was chaotic, like a growing shadow, and its surface pulsed with red veins. The battlefield darkened as the giant ship blocked out the stars. Officers gasped. Commander, the energy reading, it's beyond anything we've ever seen. We cannot fight that. Aaron stared at the monstrous ship. His voice was calm, but his eyes showed fear. We don't have a choice. Below, on Earth's surface, people saw the sky dim. Parents held their children. Soldiers tightened their grips on rifles. The whole world sensed the arrival of something ancient and deadly. Inside the new enemy vessel, something awakened. A massive red eye opened on the ship's surface, an eye that seemed alive, aware, and angry. The ship released a deep, vibrating sound. It was not a weapon. It was a cry of rage, a cry of revenge. The invaders now knew who had killed their guardian. Humanity. The giant ship lifted its arms. Yes, arms, formed from twisted metal. It aimed them toward Earth. Commander, an officer shouted. They're charging a weapon, at least 10 times stronger than the spike attack. Aaron felt cold. The sun lance was still cooling. It needed time before it could fire again. Time they did not have. Solar spear, report, Aaron called. Captain Lyra responded, coughing through smoke. Commander, we can still fight. Just tell us where to shoot. Aaron looked at the giant ship. Its power built with every passing second. Target its arms. Aaron ordered. If we can't stop the weapon, we break the weapon. Human ships opened fire. Dozens of bright beams struck the enemy's arms. The giant ship staggered, only slightly. It was too strong. Inside the moon base, Sarek whispered, humans do not understand. When the Guardian is killed, the core awakens. That thing, that is the real enemy. Aaron turned to him slowly. Then how do we kill it? Sarek hesitated, fear shaking his voice. You don't kill it. You survive it. Aaron clenched his fists. No, humanity doesn't survive threats like this. We end them. Just then, a message came through from Echo Team's escape pod. Commander, we found something, Rhea said. Inside the mothership before it collapsed. Her voice shook. There was a message. Not words, images. Coordinates. A star far outside our maps. Aaron frowned. What's there? The second core, Rhea said. The real command center. If we destroy that place, we end the invaders forever. Aaron stared at the giant ship preparing to wipe Earth from existence. 2 choices stood before him. Fight an impossible battle now, or chase the true enemy into the unknown. His decision would determine the fate of the galaxy. The giant enemy ship continued to charge its monstrous weapon. Red light flowed across its body like molten lava. Every pulse was stronger than the last. Earth had minutes, maybe seconds, before the weapon fired. Commander, Aaron Hayes knew the truth. Earth could not defeat this monster in direct battle. Not now. Not with the Sunlance offline. Not with the fleet damaged and scattered. But humanity had something else. Information. A location. A chance. Ria's voice from the escape pod still echoed in his mind. There is a second core. The real command center. If we destroy that, we end the invaders forever. Aaron opened the main communication channel. His voice reached every ship in orbit and every human listening from Earth. This enemy is too strong to beat here, but we know their weakness. We know where they are controlled. If we reach that place and destroy their true core, we save the galaxy. Silence filled the bridge. Then Captain Lyra spoke through heavy static. Commander, you need someone to hold that giant ship back. Aaron understood instantly. Lyra, no, your ship won't survive. It was never about surviving, she said. It was about protecting home. Aaron swallowed the emotion in his throat. Then you will not fight alone. He turned to his officers. All ships capable of movement, follow the solar spear. Slow that monster down. Human ships, damaged, burning, but unbroken, formed a new line between Earth and the giant invader ship. Sarek watched in shock. Your people, they will die. Arindi plaid quietly. No, they will buy time. He activated the deep space drive on Earth's fastest fleet, the Vanguard Wing, a group of experimental ships built for long-range war. Vanguard Wing, Aaron ordered, prepare to leave the system. Coordinates locked on the enemy's true core. The crews of those ships felt a heavy silence. They knew this mission was one way. They knew they might never see Earth again. But not a single ship backed away. Humanity never runs. Humanity charges. As the Vanguard Wing prepared for the jump, the frontline battle exploded. The giant enemy ship unleashed its drones, millions of them. They rushed toward the human blockade like a black hurricane. Human ships fired everything they had. Explosions lit the sky. Fighters danced between beams of red energy. The solar spear took hit after hit, but kept firing its rail cannons with pure rage. Captain Lyra screamed, Come on, come on. We only need 3 more minutes. The giant ship charged its weapon fully. A red sphere grew between its arms. The heat from the energy made space itself distort. Aaron's officer shouted, Commander, the weapon will fire soon. We cannot hold them back much longer. We need the Vanguard to move. Aaron stood tall. Vanguard Wing jump. In a burst of blue light, the Vanguard ships vanished into the darkness beyond known space. Earth held its breath. The enemy fired. A colossal beam of red energy shot toward Earth. It was faster than any missile, hotter than any star. The solar spear moved in front of it. Captain Lyra whispered, For Earth, for everyone. The beam struck her ship. A blinding flash flooded the sky. When it faded, the solar spear was gone, but the beam had weakened. Human ships combined their fire to break what remained of it. The red beam shattered into sparks, spreading harmlessly through space. Earth was safe for now. Sarek stared at Aaron, voice trembling. Your people, they give everything. Aaron closed his eyes. We give what we must. Far across the galaxy, the Vanguard Wing reached the coordinates. A star-sized machine floated there, twisted, ancient, alive. The true core. The enemy mind. Humanity fired all weapons. The core fought back, but humans kept pushing. Lieutenant Rhea, wounded but alive, gave the final order. Detonate all charges. End this. A supernova of white light swallowed the core. And across the galaxy, every enemy ship froze. The giant monster above Earth screamed silently, then collapsed into dust. The invasion ended. The galaxy was saved by humanity. Later, alien leaders from across the stars gathered above Earth. They bowed before Commander Aaron Hayes. But he only said, We didn't save the galaxy because we were the strongest. We saved it because we refused to run. And a legend of humanity, the species that stood when all others fled, spread across the stars forever.